Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and welcome back to the fly-by-wire Airbus A380 in a somewhat cloudy and rainy New York John F. Kennedy Airport. Today we're going to fly the Lufthansa flight 411 from New York to Munich, which is a summer A380 service in the real world. Now, before we start, a quick message from today's sponsor, Intentions AI. If you're looking for an ATC add-on and one that can not only do your standard IFR A to B flight, but also things like VFR, data link, or even a cabin crew simulation, then be sure to check out Intentions. We'll be using them in today's video, so if you like what you hear, then use the link in the video description or in the pinned comment below. Alright, and with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. As always, we're going to start by checking our flight plan, and that one, likewise, as always, comes from SimBrief. Now, some of you keep asking me every now and then what tool I'm using to view the flight plan, and that is simply Firefox as a browser. No extra tool or anything added. Now this is our route of flight. We are going to depart New York in a northerly direction, and we are going to follow the coastline until we are going to fly across Nut Zulu today, and then across Ireland, the UK, Belgium, into Germany, bound for Munich. The significant weather chart, well, is existent. So, some CBs in the New York area, as we could undoubtedly see already ahead of time. Now, the next one we're going through is this area over here, and that seems to involve something with icing in the lower levels. Then we have some CBs over here until level 290, so we should be able to get above that, and we are basically going to follow the jet stream over here until we enter the North Atlantic track. Then we have that cat area over here marked with number 1, and that's moderate turbulence up to flight level 400. And then we can have a look into the other side of the ocean, where things are finally going to get a little bit smoother. We do have another turbulent area until level 360, but by the time we leave the North Atlantic, the last 2.5 hours are going to become smooth, and we'll have an easy arrival into Munich. In terms of weather, New York is reporting a cloudy day at the moment, temperature 24 degrees. And the winds do seem to favor runway 22 right for our departure. Munich is fairly easy, probably runway 08 in use, and then I'm hoping for 08 left for our landing. Well, and then we've got Frankfurt as our alternate, which is clear skies and is going to stay like that throughout the evening. Alright, so with that in mind, having a look into our flight plan itself, an on-time departure means a very on-time arrival, so absolutely no need to worry about that. Cosmx 50 is planned for today's flight. The max landing weight is within 10 tons of our expected landing weight, so that's something for us to keep in mind if we should decide to take any extra fuel. Takeoff weight's totally fine though, 100 tons to the maximum zero fuel. It's very close to the maximum as well. 361 is the max zero fuel weight on this airplane, so we are rather close. Now, when we go a little bit further down in our flight plan and have a look into the fuel section, 104 tons is roughly what they want us to take. Now, what you couldn't see on the significant weather charts or on the route chart is that SimBrief unfortunately doesn't plan the arrivals in Munich correctly. For this reason, we will probably need a little bit more fuel than what we've actually calculated in our trip fuel. Now, going down here, if we are 1,000 kilos heavier, we need an additional 115 to carry that weight. So let's say that we want to arrive with 20 minutes of extra fuel at our destination. Then we can see down here from the final reserves that 30 minutes equals 5,000 kilos. So 20 minutes is going to be roughly 3,500 kilos. Plus the fuel it takes to carry that, let's take 4,000 kilos extra. And then if we do the mathematics, we're at 102.7 plus 800, which then is 103.5 plus 4,000, 107.5 tons of fuel for a 7-hour flight. Quite amazing, isn't it? But that's what we are going to take, so no further questions asked. Alright, with that in our mind, let's get right into our bus and start to prepare for today's flight. Now, the aircraft's powered up already since it is in a turnaround state. But nonetheless, we are going to do the full inspection over here. So the engine master switches are in idle, or in off, thrust levers idle, landing gear levers off, then the wipers are on. We don't need to check the batteries here, and then we can turn the ADRs number 1, 2, and 3 on. Lovely. So just a quick check down at the surveillance page, making sure that the weather radar is off, which it is. And then we can head over into our EFB and import our assembly flight plan down here as well. So flight plan imported, then let's go into our loading. So 469 passengers, 20.7 tons of fuel. Let's say we got a couple of last minutes here, 473, and transfer. Lovely. So now for the fuel, we had 107.5 like this, and load. And with all of that out of the way, we can go ahead and start to work on the rest of our setup. So first things first, flight number D Lufthansa 411 from New York John F. Kennedy to Munich, and that's all entered. Then we can just get our table out of here as well, because we will be using that keyboard for quite a bit today. Okay, cool. So that stuff's done. Then let's continue over here, and we can do a recall. So recall last, hold it for 3 seconds, and there is nothing in here. Wonderful. We don't have the dispatch page over here on the A380, so let's go upstairs, do the fire tests. And that's looking good, and then let's just start the APU. Lights are coming on already for our colleague to do the walk around. And here we go, seatbelt's coming on already as well. Okay, beautiful. So while the APU is starting, let's go ahead and do the rest of our setup. Now, our takeoff weight is going to be, let's see, 350 plus 107.5, so 457.5, roundabout. Yeah, 457.5 should work just about well. Then let's go ahead and calculate our takeoff performance, and we'll use SimBrief for that. So JFK 22 right, we'll take the full length over here. And the takeoff weight for 62.7, that doesn't make any sense. Actually, let's just see that again. They estimate us at 62.7. Why is that different from what we've got in the sim? But let's take what SimBrief has over here. So 462.7 plus 4,000 kilos rounded up, so 463, 467. Just to be on the safe side here. Alright, the weather is good, and calculate. And that gives us 11 meters stop margin, flaps 1, selected 57, 385361. Okay, if that's what they calculate, let's just calculate bleeds off, see what we're gonna get then. A degree more. Okay, excellent, then we'll take that degree more. Wonderful. So, that's everything we need down here. Okay, so we have sufficient oxygen on board our airplane. Then let's go into the hydraulics, where we have sufficient quantity as well. Engine oil. Is looking very good. Alright, APU running, APU bleep coming on. And then last but not least, looking at our flaps are up, spoilers retracted, both of those match. Alternate brake check. Looking good. Okay, and set again. Wonderful. So then, let's just go down here. It's an A380-800 with a Rolls-Royce Trent 900 engines. Nav database is up to date. Then let's do the company flight plan request, and while that one's loading, we can do the rest of our setup. So Unfortunately, the evacuation switch is not modeled, otherwise we would have set that. Okay, so refueling. Let's see. 107.5 are on board, so refueling is complete. Okay, up here a couple of white lights are okay. Over here everything is set. Then going downstairs. Let's see about the weather. So New York 2994, and that's set. 18th of June 25. That's all looking good. And down here, I'm not going to bother setting our radios just yet. In the middle, everything's done. On the right side, everything's done. I like it. Okay, cool. So let's go into our FMS. Receive flight plan, insert. And let's also open our OFP down here. So it's Lufthansa 411 from New York to Munich, alternate Frankfurt, flight level 350. Cruise temperature -45. And the tropopause initially in 45,000. Okay, cosine 50 is okay. Wind component will be a tailwind of 32 knots. IRSs are aligning on the GPS position. So departure runway 22 right, and I do expect the JFK 5 departure today. Yeah, insert that. Now for the arrival in Munich, thinking about it, 08 right is probably the better arrival runway for us, so why don't we just insert that with an ILS approach, and we are coming in via Rockhill, so let's select the Rockhill 08 transition. Okay, Tempe and insert. Alright, so there isn't really much that we can check over here. We just depart on the runway heading, and then we'll get radar vectors. So back to the init, nav 8s, JFK VORs in here, we don't need anything more than that. So zero fuel weight is 360.1. CG is unknown for the time being, block fuel 107.5. Passengers, well, that field should actually be empty for the time being. So let's go over here and clear info, but looks like we can't do that. Okay, we'll just accept that for the moment. So taxi fuel 0.8, alternate fuel 8.6, final reserve fuel is exactly 5,000, and the route reserve will be 2.6. Okay, I like that. Then let's go down to the takeoff performance page. It's going to be no shift. Then let's once again review our takeoff performance calculation. So it's a flap 1 takeoff at 58 degrees. So flap 1 is selected, flex, and 58 degrees. And our takeoff speeds are going to be 139, 154, 161. 139, 154, and 161. The packs will be off or supplied by the APU, anti-ice off, reduction in acceleration 1000 each, transition 18,000, engine out acceleration 1500. That's all good. And then on the climb page, derailed climb isn't simulated. Okay. So back to the flight plan page, fix info, KJFK 22 right, and radial 224 as extended centerline in here. And that's about everything we need. Now we can draw a 25-mile ring for MSA awareness over here as well. Alright, secondary isn't simulated. The rest of the stuff that we would need to do is not simulated, so we are done with our setup. Alright, so 2994 constraints, VORs, traffic, initial probably somewhere around 4,000 or so. You get the same thing on this side. Now let's go ahead and open up our airport display. And with that I think we've done about everything that we could. And here we go. Alright, so let's find some charts. So, Navigraph from KJFK, taxi. Do we have dedicated? Yes, we do. A380 approved taxi routes. Let's open that one. And that is looking quite good. Then we need the general airport charts to get our frequencies. So let's pin that one as well. And finally, the Kennedy 5 departure. Okay, so ATIS 128725. And that should have been on COM 2. 128725 and activate.
Unways 31 left, 31 right, 22 left. Caution unknown drone activity in the area. Advise on initial contact you have information whiskey. John F. Kennedy International Airport, information whiskey. 1651 Zulu. Wind 200 at 4. Visibility 10. Sky conditions, few at 700 feet. Scattered at 1700 feet. Broken at 1000 feet. Broken at 5000 feet. Temperature 24. Dew point 21. Altimeter 2994. Density altitude 1000 feet. Arriving runways 22 right, 31 right, 22 left. Departing runways 31 left, 31 right, 22 left. Caution unknown drone activity in the area. Advise on initial contact you have information whiskey.
Okay, so whiskey is on board. Kennedy delivery, Lufthansa 411 Super, information whiskey, request IFR clearance to Munich.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
In the meantime, prepare for pushback and departure, please. And then let's wait for the clearance to arrive. Again, it would be very nice if they had a way for us to actually write the clearance down. Something like a text editor on the EFB or so. That'd be superb.
Lufthansa 411 Super, cleared to Munich. Radar vectors Greek, then as filed. Climb and maintain 5000. Expect flight level 350 10 minutes after departure. Departure on 125.7 squawk 2464. And your departure runway was changed to 22 left.
Lufthansa 411 is cleared to Munich. Radar vectors 5000, 350 10 minutes after. Departure 125.7, squawk 2464, and we need runway 22 right for performance reasons.
Lufthansa 411 Super, read back correct.
Lufthansa 411 Super, request runway 22 right.
Lufthansa 411 Super, runway 22 right is not available for departure. Available runways are 31 left, 31 right, and 22 left. Please confirm your runway choice.
We kindly ask you to take your seats according to...
Stand by, I call you back.
And stow your hand luggage in the overhead bins.
Okay, so it's just 22.
If you need any assistance,
left.
please feel
Well,
free
there
to
is
reach out to any
absolutely
of
no
our
way
friendly
we're going to
crew
take off on a
members, including
2,560 meter
myself,
runway.
Meyer, and my
So
wonderful
that leaves
colleagues.
31 left and 31
We
right,
also want
so
to let
probably
you
going to be
know that
runway
on June
31 left.
28th and 29th,
Okay.
members of the Say Intent...
Lufthansa 411, request runway 31 left.
And we invite you to come and chat with us there. Thank you for choosing Lufthansa, and we wish you a pleasant flight.
Lufthansa 411 Super, runway 31 left is approved for departure. Cleared to Munich via the JFK 5 departure, then as filed. Climb and maintain 5000. Expect flight level 350 10 minutes after departure. Departure on 125.7 squawk 2464.
Lufthansa 411 Super is cleared to Munich from runway 31 left, JFK 5 departure, initial climb 5000, 350 10 minutes after, departure 125.7, squawk 2464.
Lufthansa 411 Super, read back correct.
Okay, so runway 31 left and JFK 5 is not available. Okay. Well, doesn't matter, we're gonna do that thing ourselves. Okay, 31 left is in here though, that's the important thing. Now, that's on tracker 313, so let's go down here, fix info, radial 313, and insert. And of course that's the wrong runway, so JFK 31 left, 313, and 25 miles. Okay, so let's find the departure chart. JFK 5 departure. Of 3-1 left. Okay, so that's, let's see, probably going to be the Canarsie climb, I guess. So climbing left, turn direct Charlie Romeo India VOR, make a turn east of radial 039 to remain within 4.5 dm from JFK, then via radial 176 cross 2 dm at or above 2,500. Okay, so let's see. If we can't select that SID, that is of course unfortunate. Let me just see. No, not. Can't be selected. Interesting. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. And we're just gonna program it manually. So, fix info. We need JFK VOR. And we need a radius of 4.5 around that. It's changing it into 5 miles, so just gotta remember that we are not supposed to overshoot that. Okay, and then we need Charlie Romeo India. And let's see. Do not overshoot radial 039. So we'll program that. And now for our route, so Charlie Romeo India and then 176 outbound. Okay, so insert next waypoint. That's going to be Charlie Romeo India. Insert. And then insert next waypoint. Charlie Romeo India slash, let's see, 176. So Charlie Romeo India slash 176 slash, let's take, I don't know, 10 miles or so. Alright, and the PBD is in here. Good, let's have a look. So 1500 left Charlie Romeo India and then outbound. And we can disregard those 15, we'll make the turn once we're above 400. Basically at 2.5 dm from JFK. Alright, so insert that, and then nav8, and JFK, and Charlie Romeo India. You can go to 176, we don't need the other one, that's fine. Alright, cool. So that's our SID now programmed. Now, departure, he said on 125.7. Pre-selected 5000 squawk 2464. Okay, and that's in. I like it. Very good. So that's basically our AO SID completed. Then let's see about our weights. So boarding should be completed by now. We've got 473 and the rest is good, so 349.2. Takeoff and loads, 349.2. 10 tons lighter. I'll better not ask why. So 34.6. Right, 107.5 tons is still correct. We are 473 passengers. Cost NX50, the rest is correct. That's all looking good. Now for our takeoff performance, the gross weight is 356.7. So let's just make that 357 for our takeoff performance. well, 457 of course. So back into the calculator, and then 457 tons. Weather we'll just update automatically, and the rest is looking good, and that's with the bleeds off. Okay, Tora is of course 31 left. Let's make that 4,000 meters and calculate. So flaps 1, 62 degrees, and 435561. But let's start easy. Flaps 1, and that's going to be temperature 62. We'll leave the takeoff shift out for the time being, and now our speeds are 143, 155, 163. Okay, and the CG is 40, so we'll set that down here. Alright, and that's everything entered. Good. So that should hopefully be a good sign for us. Then let's start our departure briefing, please. Okay, so for the briefing, JFK, 31 left, via the Canarsie climb, and we've got an initial climb of 5,000, MSA 3,000. What else is there? Extra fuel and time. Well, basically none, and that's totally fine. Those 4,000 kilos, we'll see about them, huh? Whether we might actually use them. Okay, so what are we gonna do? We are going to taxi out runway 31 left, crossing runway 22 right, which seems to be closed for whatever reason. So 31 left full length, engine out is straight ahead. Stop margin for a rejected takeoff is 53 meters. Stopping on the runway, we will have hot brakes, so we'll ask for the firefighters to inspect our landing gears. Should any fire break out, we consider an evacuation. Now, engine out isn't all too bad in this airplane. After all, we got 4 of them, and each single one of them is stronger than both of the 737 combined, at least in theory. Now, if anything happens, we can just proceed on the runway heading, but let's make a slight left turn. There's something about 290 or so, just to be sure that we head away from the city. 3,000 is safe, and then we'll come back, most likely 22 right. In that case, I'll just insist on it. Otherwise, 31 left just has that awful displaced threshold, which just takes away too much of our available landing runway. Okay, apart from that, I've got nothing special, nothing non-standard, and do you see any threats? No? Beautiful, then our briefing is complete, and then we can disconnect the externals, which have already been disconnected. Okay, well, fair enough, fine with me. Cockpit preparation checklist, please. So, gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity, that's 107.5 tons, balanced. And Baro Ref, QNH 29994. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, GSX should be ready for pushback. That is lovely. Then let's just head over here. Ground equipment seems to be all removed. I like that. Okay, so all we need is the ramp frequency, and then we can go. So ground is 0.9. So surveillance and set. Lovely. And we'll go on a buff with the T-gas. Kennedy ground, Lufthansa 411 Super, ready for pushback and startup.
Lufthansa 411 Super, Kennedy ground, pushback and startup approved, tail northwest, and remember the tug's not a free ride.
Pushback and startup approved, tail northwest, Lufthansa 411, and no worries. Okay, before start checklist, please. So park and brake, set, Takeoff speeds and thrust, V1 143, VR 155, V2 163, flex 62. B4 start, checklist complete. Ground from flight deck. So, push and start are approved. Tail northwest, they say, and the parking brake is set. I guess you only have one option available on this ramp anyway, so parking brake is released, and then we are clear to push, standing by for your clearance to start the engines. Okay, and off we go. So let's use the moment to say hello to
Captain,
our
the cabin is ready for
passengers.
departure.
Thank you. Well, I suppose she's gonna do her PA first, so...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Lufthansa Flight 411, departing from New York City to Mauenkonchen. We are delighted to have you with us today. Our captain for this flight is Emmanuel, and our first officer
Okay,
is
so
Heinz.
ground flight, we
Joining us in the
are
cabin are
ready
my
for
wonderful
engine start
colleagues,
anytime you are.
Anna, Lucas, Sophie, and Max. We kindly ask you to take your seats and stow your
I have a
hand
feeling
luggage
they'd
in the
have
overhead
to
bins
pull us
or
forward
under
to
the
the
seat
engine
in front
start
of you.
point first.
Now, let's go through some important safety information. To fasten your seatbelt, insert the metal fitting into the buckle until you hear a click. To unfasten, simply lift the buckle. Please keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated, as we may experience turbulence at any time. In the unlikely event of a loss of cabin pressure,
Such a
oxygen
beautiful
masks will
airplane.
drop down from the panel above you. Pull the mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen. Place it over your nose and mouth and secure it with the elastic band. Remember to put your own mask on
Okay,
first
ground,
before
we're starting
assisting
engines
others.
1 and 2.
For those of you seated near the exits,
Clear 1,
life
2.
vests are located under your seats. To use them, pull the vest out, slip it over your head, and pull the straps to tighten. Inflate the vest by pulling the red tabs or by blowing into the tubes. Please do not inflate the vest until you're outside the aircraft. In the event of an evacuation, please leave all luggage on board. Your safety is our priority. This Airbus A380 has a total of 16 emergency exits, which are clearly marked. There are 2 doors at the front, 2 overwing exits, and 2 doors at the rear. Please take a moment to locate the nearest exit, which may be behind you. We will be cruising at an altitude of
Okay, push
35,000
complete, set
feet,
brakes.
and the estimated flight time is approximately 7
Brake
hours
set.
and 16 minutes. As a reminder, all food, drinks, and
Yeah,
Wi-Fi
what are they
services
doing
are
now?
cashless. You can enjoy Bavarian
released.
pretzels for €4.50 and Franziskaner wheat beer for €4.90. We encourage you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
Pulling us forward the last meter, huh?
And we wish you a pleasant journey.
Alright, here we are. That's gotta be fine. Okay, so for now, brake set. And we're starting 3 and 4. Clear 3, 4. Okay, so while the engines are starting, it's your ATC, your ground crew. I'll be off on the PA. Liebe Fluggäste, einen wunderschönen guten Tag aus dem Cockpit. Hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Mein Name ist Emanuel, im Namen der deutschen Lufthansa darf Sie ganz herzlich an Bord unseres Airbus A380 auf unserem Flug nach München willkommen heißen. Flugzeit heute, wie Ihnen meine charmante Kollegin bereits gesagt hat, 7 Stunden 15. Es könnte in der ersten Hälfte des Fluges ungefähr bis wir Irland erreichen, heute etwas wackeln, da wir einen starken Rückenwind haben, der allerdings dafür sorgen wird, dass wir pünktlich an unserem Zielflughafen ankommen werden. Wir bedanken uns an der Stelle ganz herzlich für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit und freuen uns, Sie heute an Bord zu haben. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emanuel. In the name of Lufthansa, welcome aboard our Airbus A380 on our flight to Munich. Today's flight time, 7 hours 15. It could be a little bit bumpy until we reach Ireland due to some very strong tailwinds, which, however, are going to cut our flight time short to just 7 hours 15. Thank you very much for being with us. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. If there is anything we can do for you to make it more comfortable, please do not hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. Thank you, and again, welcome on board. Okay, so I'm back, and as I can see, our startup is complete. So it's auto-trimmed itself, nothing in the status. So, clear signal down her. Well, she's got a pin, that's fine with me. So, bye-bye, see you next time. And then let's do the flight control check, please. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Okay, lovely. So, after start checklist please, anti-ice is off and pitch trim 40.3% set. After start checklist complete. Lufthansa 411 Super, request taxi.
Lufthansa 411 Super, taxi to runway 31 left via November, Bravo, Kilo Delta. And remember, those taxi lines aren't just for decoration.
Lufthansa 411 Super, taxi runway 31 left via November, Bravo, Kilo Delta. And, well, we agree on the taxi lines, not so sure on the edge lights though. Okay, good. So, November, Bravo, Kilo Delta. Let's see, that's gonna be November. It's that one, then Bravo is the outer one. And Kilo Delta, they want us over here. We'll see about that. Anyway, let's get moving. So clear on the right side, clear on the left side. Parking brake is released. It's moving on its own, nice. Brake check, pressure 0. So November is going to be up here, and then Bravo is the second to the left. Both sides are clear. So 9 knots going into the turn should be just about fine. Okay, lovely. Coming up on Bravo, and then we'll just go up to, well, they say Kilo Delta, and I say we'll see about that.
Approaching 1-3 right.
Yeah, not yet. Okay, let's see, Kilo Delta, do we have any takeoff run available from there? Probably not. I'm not going to use Google Earth to measure that, so Lufthansa 411 Super. Please confirm the takeoff run available from Kilo Delta.
Lufthansa 411 Super, takeoff run available from Kilo Delta is 11351 feet. Plenty of room for a nice leisurely takeoff.
That's copied, thank you. So 11351. I'm doing the takeoff performance off screen over here on SimReef. That's pretty much what I would ask my second pilot to do while I'm taxiing the airplane now. And with 11351 feet on 31 left, SimReef tells us flaps 162. So that's flaps 1 at 62, 43, 55, 63. Okay, so SimReef actually says the data is completely, no, not completely, 41, 55, 61 now. Okay, apart from that, the data is unchanged. Good, so changes to the takeoff briefing then. 3-1 left, Kilo Delta. That's going to be the second taxiway to the right, over there. And yeah, we've got, other than that, no changes. Any questions? No? Beautiful. Then we can do the taxi checklist, please. Flight controls. Checked. Flap setting. Config 1+F. Radar on. Taxi checklist complete. So I'm going to stop the plane like this, otherwise I will not be able to turn it onto the apron later on. Alright, so we still got to teach the intention that it has to give us a tower frequency when we get there. So 3-1 left, 12390. Kennedy Tower, Lufthansa 411 Super, ready for departure.
Lufthansa 411 Super, Kennedy Tower, runway 31 left, winds 200 at 4. Fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Lufthansa 411 Super, fly runway heading, runway 31 left, cleared for takeoff. Lufthansa 411, can we fly the Canarsie climb? Okay, the left side is
Lufthansa
clear.
411 Super, Canarsie climb approved.
3-1 left.
Thank you very much. Canarsie climb approved. Lufthansa 411 Super. Okay, I like that idea better. So, packs off. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. All right. Line up checklist, please. Clear right side, clear left side. Takeoff runway, 31 left full length, packs 1 and 2, off, line up checklist complete. Are you ready? I take that as a yes. Take off.
On runway 31 left.
Intentionally. Madflag 62 SRS, runway auto thrust blue. Thrust set. .100 knots, checked. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Enough. Okay, we're at 400, starting the turn to Canarsie. Full heading 255. Heading. Okay, direct to Canarsie, please.
Lufthansa 411 Super, contact departure.
Over to departure, Lufthansa 411 Super.
Lufthansa 411 Super, contact departure.
Lufthansa 411 Super, contacting departure. First climb open, climb auto thrust. So, 1257. Kennedy departure, Lufthansa 411 Super, passing altitude 1400, climbing 5000. Flap 0. Speed checked.
Lufthansa 411 Super, New York departure, radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 280, turn right heading 050, vectors to Greek, then own navigation.
Lufthansa 411 climb and maintain flight level 280, turn left heading 050, vectors to Greek. Okay, heading 050. These are the moments where a second pilot is just really, really helpful. Okay, so temperatures are good, no need for anti-ice. Autopilot 1. Acceleration flow pattern, flaps up, transponders retracted, landing gear up, and packs on. So, Bracky is somewhere over there, that's quite a distance. It's too bad that it's so cloudy today, because it seems they're taking us straight across the airport again. I'm sure that would have been a lovely sight. But well, so be it. So it did say heading 050 to Greek, then on navigation. So, let's see, Bracky is more like 035. I suppose they're just going to continue with this heading for a little while, and then we'll get another vector a bit later on. So just to check that there is no architecture checklist in here, there isn't. Nice. Okay, good. So, I'll just clean this up. Direct to Greggy. Insert and pull heading. Heading. Nice. So our flight plan is nice and tidy. Alright, so far so good. That was a pretty easy one, and very cooperative ATC as well. At least considering that we're in New York over here, which, you know, can sometimes be good, other times not so much. It's New York after all. I'll just ask ATC if they want us to fly direct to Grecki already. Lufthansa 411, do you want us direct to Grecki already?
Lufthansa 411 super affirmative, proceed direct to Greek.
Thank you, direct to Greek. Lufthansa 411 super. Okay, direct to Grecki. Insert. Nav. And
Super direct to Greek approved.
Lufthansa 411 super, direct to Greek approved. Thank you. Okay, so far so good. Then the weather radar is unfortunately in up. Let's see, is terrain working today? Might not have enabled that. Okay, passing 10,000, we'll leave the landing lights on for the time being. Seatbelts as well until we're out of the clouds. 2994
Dear
is
guests,
correct.
we are pleased to inform you that the use of electronic devices is now allowed. You can also enjoy our onboard Wi-Fi service, which is available for your convenience. Please remember to keep your devices in airplane
Optimum
mode.
355,
Thank you for your
maximum
attention, and we hope you
370,
enjoy the
so
flight.
cruising in 35 sounds very good to me. Now, apart from that, let's see, we had a step climb somewhere. TUDEP 380, then the Matin 390. I somehow doubt that we're going to fly that high. We'll just keep it on, keep the step climps on automatic, see what it's going to say. I think that's the easiest option. Okay, cool. So with all of that out of the way, thank you very much for flying along so far. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the lovely night flight, and then I see you all as the sun rises on our approach into Munich. beautiful sunrise and generally what beautiful skies we have over Europe at the moment. So let's get rid of that sun, shall we? First thing the pilot is gonna do when he sees it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and continue with our approach preparation for Munich. In general, there are a couple of altitude restrictions that we can expect, and one of them is going to be Delta Kilo Bravo at level 250. So let's go ahead and enter that. So Delta Kilo Bravo, constraints at or below, so that's going to be 250. Tempe insert. Let's see what that's going to do to our top of descent. Should be somewhere around here, I guess. So more or less giving us a nice 80 miles to prepare for our setup. Apart from that, what is this should be now? So make it at 250. That's fine with me as well. Okay, apart from that, another one we can enter is going to be down at Tokyo, which we want to have at 11,000 feet, so that we can fly a straight-in approach should it become necessary. Alright, I'm inserting that one as well. Now, let's just re-enter the cruise level here, because that seems to force a recalculation of the top of descent. And here we go. That is looking a lot better. Okay, so ETA Munich 0507, and I just checked our schedule. It's actually 0530 instead of 0600. That's incorrect on the OFP over here. I was surprised that we were planned to arrive an hour early. That would have been a little bit too good, I suppose. Alright, so let's scrap our arrivals. We'll plan the Rokyo 08 transition for our approach, and the first thing I'm going to do now is to find the ADAS frequency 123130. Let's see if we can receive that already.
Is requested. Read Bethal runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Bravo. Munchen Airport. Information Bravo. 1920 Zulu. Wind 300 at 2. Cab OK. Temperature 20. Dew point 14. QNH 1023. Density altitude 2100 feet. Arriving runway 8 right. Departing runway 8 left. Transition level 55. Advise on course heading, altitude, and
okay, wonderful. Arriving runway 8 right. That's what we've been hoping for. Then let's get out the plan and let's start setting up for this approach. So a little bit of strolling over here. So Rokyo 110, that should be just about fine. That's 20 miles to the final approach. Fix. Not the furthest, but with a speed brake that's going to be okay. Okay, so we've got the transition chart, then let's also grab the ILS chart, and we'll need a taxi chart as well. Let's see if there's any A380 chart, but it doesn't look like it, and the parking stands on the east. Let's pin the airport chart as well, just because. So deleting our New York routes, and here we are. So, ILS approach, runway 08 right. Okay, 1093.080, 1690 the minimum more or less, 1686, 3700 MSA, that's all good. So let's compare that with our plan. Starting in Bagan in 5000 feet, we have a 3-degree glide, and at 4.1 dm we cross-check 2780, which we've got, and for the missed approach, here we go, straight at 1 dm Delta Mike Sierra, and then a right-hand turn inbound to Ottersberg, climbing 5000, and we have more of that. So easy going. For the performance figures, descent data is looking good. We have the wind 300 at 220 degrees 1023. So 300 at 220 20 degrees and 1023. Minimum 1686. Config full, transition level 060, and 3700 for the engine out acceleration. Wonderful, and that's everything we need in here. Then let's try and see if we can get ourselves a safe taxi chart. Yep, that's the wrong airport. So select Munich, display. Here we go. 08 right is selected. And we want to vacate over here. Alpha 12 or Bravo 12, and then we are straight at the apron. Okay, BTV selected. And that's all we'll need. Now let's also just preload Munich over here as well. And here it is. Good.
Lufthansa 411, Langenradar, cleared, Rocky. 1 Alpha arrival into München. When you're ready to begin your descent, descend flight level 310. Cleared, Rocky 1 Alpha arrival into München. Descend flight level 310 when ready. Lufthansa 411.
Okay, flight level 310 is blue. I don't think we're actually going to fly that arrival, so I'll just leave the FMS exactly as it is right now. So let's start the briefing, please. Okay, Munich, ILS 08 right, radar vectors, and the minimum 1686, go around straight at 1 mile, or 1900, whichever is later, right to Ottersberg, climbing 5000. Extra fuel and time, let's see what we actually have now. 13 tons, that equals about an hour and a half. Okay, so an hour and a half extra. Thank you for that. It will be a flight director guided ILS approach to runway 08 right. Config full BTV, vacate Bravo 12. No hotspots for our taxi-in, and I have nothing special, nothing non-stone out. Is there anything from your side? No? I love it. Okay, and I don't see any threats either. So, that's the briefing completed. And I'm off talking to the passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. In a few moments we will leave our cruise altitude and start our descent towards Munich. The weather over there, wonderful, clear skies, temperature 20 degrees. Would like to thank you for choosing Lufthansa for today's flight, and
Descending flight level 270, Lufthansa
welcome you again
411.
on board of the future service. Thank you very much for your attention, and we wish you a nice and safe onwards journey. Liebe Fluggäste, einen wunderschönen guten Morgen aus dem Cockpit. Hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Wir verlassen soeben unsere Reisegruppe und starten den Sinkflug in Richtung München. Das Wetter dort derzeit sehr schön, klarer Himmel, Temperaturen um die 20 Grad. Wir bedanken uns herzlich, dass Sie unsere Gäste waren, wünschen Ihnen einen schönen Aufenthalt, gegebenenfalls eine gute und sichere Weiterreise und würden uns freuen, Sie bald wieder an Bord haben.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now left our cruising altitude and have started our approach to Mawan Quanchen. We kindly ask everyone to return to your seats, stow your tables, and fasten your seatbelts. Please note that the usage of the lavatories is no longer allowed at this time. Thank you for your cooperation.
Seatbelts coming on, and then I see you all during the actual approach into Munich.
Lufthansa 411, descend flight level 060, turn right heading 170 vectors for the ILS runway 8 right approach. Descending flight level 060, right heading 170 for vectors to the ILS runway 8 right approach. Lufthansa 411.
Okay, so you've heard it. Make a right-hand turn And then we are gonna get that speed brake out all the way, because now it's gonna get steep. Descending flat level 60, radar heading 170, so they will probably make it a rather tight approach. I guess we've got about 10 miles to lose 3,000 feet and 40 knots, probably a little bit more. We'll give it a try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Then we gotta do an orbit or something. So, back to Bagan. Insert and you stay on heading. Alright. Time to prepare for landing. Now we're going to see what the A380 can actually do. So, lights on, signs on, ether CP is set. What are you doing down here? Flatband please, thank you.
Lufthansa 411 Super, 9 miles from Wagen. Turn left heading 130, descend flight level 050 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 8 right approach. Left heading 130, descend flight level 050 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 8 right approach. Lufthansa 411.
I will take over ATC, please. No idea how that's gonna... Absolutely no idea how that's supposed to work. Yeah, we'll need an orbit. Lufthansa 411, request a left-hand orbit.
Lufthansa 411 approved. Make a left-hand orbit.
Captain.
Left orbit approved, Lufthansa 411.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now on our final approach into MI1 Conchon. At this time, we
Okay.
kindly ask you to turn off your electronic
Tower
devices and stow them until we have
118.705.
arrived at the gate. Please ensure your tray tables are put
118.705, Lufthansa 411.
in position and your seatbelts are fastened. Once we land, our Lufthansa
So that was
staff
just
will
too
provide
high.
you with
Nothing we
information
could
regarding your
do.
connecting
Should have been at
devices.
5,000,
Thank
now
you
we're
for your
3.5
cooperation.
higher. There's the runway. That was not good by air traffic control. They left us far too long at level 160. If we had a continuous descent from there, it would have been fine, but we didn't, so not much we can do. But not a problem, we'll just fly that orbit. Now, what's really funny, and I did absolutely not plan this at all, and I'm serious, I really didn't, but the real flight actually had to do the same thing. I don't know the reason, but they had to do that very same thing, flying that double leg on the approach. I mean, what could happen, huh? Really, you ask yourself, what could possibly happen that not just the real aircraft had to fly in orbit, but the simulated one as well. Okay, so activate approach phase and manage speed. Then we can stow the speed brake. And that is looking very good so far. So I'll just go wings level on 260 over here for a bit, because we still got to ensure that we reach Bagan again. That's because we reduced the speed so much, we've somewhat closed the orbit. Happens. Not much we can do about it, but hey. Okay, so... And here's just to show you, this is what the real aircraft did. So they didn't do an orbit, they kind of made it a pattern, but yeah, same, isn't it? Alright, and now right back into our flight. So we past Bacon, we can start the left-hand turn. It's runway 08, so intercept heading 110. Here we go. So reaching the glide slope now. Vertical speed minus 1000. Let's actually make it minus 500. Of course, now we're a little bit below the profile. Well, and then we can run the approach checklist, please. So, barrel ref, QNH 1023 checked. Minimum barrel 1686. Auto brake, BTV, approach checklist complete. I have a feeling we actually gotta roll wings level here for a moment. Of course, we're still a bit too far from the center line. Otherwise, we're going to cut inside Bacon. Okay, and we were supposed to call the tower. Wind Tower, Lufthansa 411 Super, establishing ILS 08 right.
Lufthansa 411 Super, Munich Tower, winds calm. Runway 8 right, clear to land, caution bird activity.
Runway 08 right, clear to land, Lufthansa 411 Super. Block star, Catherine dual, autopilot 1 and 2. Alt star, glide slope blue. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Alright, ground will be on 12183. Pre-selected. And then let's fly. Silence! And you shut up as well. Cat 1. Lock. Glide slope star, go around altitude 5000 set. Glide slope. 10.7 miles out. That's a pretty good combination here. So, landing weight is now 376. That's pretty close to the max landing weight, but still fine. Gotta say, I like the flight dynamics of the A380. Fly-by-wire have done a good job on that. It feels a little bit more unstable than what I would expect from a fly-by-wire aircraft. Well, certainly from an Airbus fly-by-wire aircraft, but it reacts superbly to your inputs.
2,500.
Checked. And that is indeed something that a lot of A380 pilots are going to tell you, that the plane is super responsive. Okay, flaps 2. Speed checked. Flaps 2. Gear down. Flaps 3. Speed checked. Flap 3. And flaps full. Speed checked. Flaps full. So, complete the landing checklist, please. Decam memo, landing mode, landing checklist complete. All right. What a fantastic sight. So we just got a little bit fast while I've been on a photo shoot.
Approaching 08 right.
Checked.
Five hundred. 500. 400. 400.
So we need to remember flare at 50, land.
300. 100 above.
Checked.
200. Minimum.
Continue.
100.
Disregard the puppy.
50.
Birds.
40. 30. 20. Retard.
And welcome to Munich. Spoilers, reverse green, BTV. Engine indications are looking good. Lufthansa 411, we had a bird strike over the runway threshold.
Lufthansa 411, roger. Bird strike reported. Please advise if you require any assistance.
And no assistance required, Lufthansa 411. Manual brakes.
Auto brake off.
Lufthansa 411, roger. No assistance required. Please confirm your current altitude and heading.
1,500
Our altitude
meters
is field elevation
remaining.
and the heading is runway heading. Why did he ask this? Lufthansa 411, vacating runway 08 right.
Lufthansa 411, roger.
So, in real
Ladies
life,
and
we hold the
gentlemen,
ground
welcome
without a
to
handoff here.
M110. We have just landed on runway 8.
München ground, Lufthansa 411 Super. Request taxi to gate 250.
First Officer Heinz and the entire crew, we thank you for flying with Lufthansa today. Did you know that Munich is famous for its beer gardens and the annual Oktoberfest celebration?
Lufthansa 411 service, taxi to satellite terminal 2, gate 250 via the Bravo 12 Sierra 8 Echo 2. Have a great day.
Bravo 12 Sierra 8 Echo 2 gate 250 Lufthansa 411. Okay, so Bravo 12 is more or less straight ahead, then to the left hand side on the Sierra 8 Echo 2 gate 250. We can do that. Perfect, so welcome to Munich. We're going to leave the flaps extended due to the possible bird strike here. So down to 10 knots, please. Okay, could you use Com2 to call the company, please, to get us some engineers onto the stand? In the meantime, after landing checklist, if we have one. No, we don't. Munich operations, Delta Alpha India Mike Lima.
I don't understand.
Oh, what did I expect? We're the A380 from New York. We had a bird strike on landing. We will need engineering on gate 250, please.
Engineering will be dispatched to gate 250 for the A380. Please hold position until they arrive.
Okay, will do, thank you. Ground Lufthansa 411. We need to hold short in front of the gate until engineering arrives.
Lufthansa 411, Munich ground, hold short in front of the gate as requested. Contact apron on 119.9 for further assistance. Have a good day.
119.9 to enter the gate, Lufthansa 411. Thank you, tschüss. Engineering from Delta Alpha India Mike Lima.
I don't understand.
That is not how you answer a call. Is engineering at the gate already? Can we see anyone there? Yeah, there are a couple cars. I guess they're among there as well. Actually, yeah, that's their van. Okay, perfect. So, can we enter the gate now? After all, I see no reason not to enter the gate because, well, it was their request not to do it. Apron Lufthansa 411, can we enter gate 250? Come on. Say something. Well, if they don't talk, that's fine with me as well. Let's see. The guidance system's on A380 on there. Yeah, then let's go. Brakes off. Let's do it. Okay, the right side is clear. Lights off. In case you're wondering, I did just turn them on intermediately just to indicate to other vehicles around us that we will start moving again. Okay, so A380 is on the guidance, perfect. Hard to read something proper on there, because it's so small. Let's actually zoom in. Oh, stop, okay. Lovely. Okay, here we are. So, bleeds on and APU is on. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Okay, engines running down. Okay, parking checklist, please. So, park and brake out trucks. That's the brake set. Wing light is off. Parking checklist complete. All right. Ground from flight deck.
I don't understand.
Is that all you're gonna say today? Alright. Please perform the bird strike inspection now. Alright, and while he's doing that, we can already start shutting things down. So you're going off, you're going off. We'll keep the lights on the sides for the time being. And, well, with all of that done, we really only have the inspection to complete. So what would happen now? Basically, the ground crew would inspect the aircraft to see if they can find any traces of birds or anything on the airplane. If they find nothing, we are just going to retract the flaps, and when that is completed, we just make our entry into the technical logbook, and then all the ground crew is going to do is sign it off that they've done the inspection, didn't find anything, problem solved. Of course, in an airplane as large as the A380, especially when you look at these flaps, man, it's going to take a little while to perform that inspection, so we can just leave the airplane with the flaps extended. And that's really all there is to it. That's about as easy as it gets for something like this. Well, my friends, and that is all that I can offer you today. I do hope you found this one interesting. I do hope you liked this. 7 hours and 5 minutes in an A380. After all, 25 minutes ahead of schedule. Just the German punctuality that we are looking for. If they could build airports half as quick... Okay, let's not get down that road. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you liked Say Intentions AI, be sure to leave a like and comment. And check out Say Intentions using the link in the video description below. In the meantime, if you really like what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. And until then, I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.